Carlisle.
This broadcast is a presentation of WCXO Sports. WCXO Sports. Since 1999, the sports voice of the Carlisle Indians, the Central Cougars, the Mater Dei Knights, and the Westland Warriors presents Talkin Sports on Max 96.7. Talkin Sports is powered by Brett's Wildlife Lodge and Winery in Carlisle. Talkin Sports is brought to you by Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan in Centralia. Kaskaskia College. The future's yours at Kaskaskia College. Emin Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City, and Hoyleton. Nordike Funeral Home with 5 locations to serve your needs. McKendree University in Lebanon. Seaver Brothers in Carlisle. 12 Oaks Vineyard in rural Carlisle. And by Becker Jewelers with locations in Breeze and Highland and always online at beckerjewelers.com. Here's the host of Talkin Sports, Rip Nottmeyer.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Talkin Sports. Rip here in the Bird Watson Health Mart studio for a Monday. On the scorecard tonight, we'll talk some high school basketball with Salem Wildcats coach Andy Fehrenbacher. In the back half hour, it's up north for former Illini basketball player and, well, he's the current EIU AD, Tom Michael. Plus, as always, on the Monday, the beginning of the week, we have the Easy and Travel Little Augie's Pizza Clinton County Prep Athlete of the Week. We'll reward that winner, too. But first, it's time for score. Rewarded award. I got to look that up. First, it's time for scores and stuff brought to you by Bird Watson Health Mart Studio. Actually, that's wrong. It's brought to you by Mideastern. It's Monday, isn't it? Mideastern Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning in Carlisle, the hometown source for residential and commercial work. I'll go solo, and here we roll. We'll start with Pucks. The Blues won yet again. They beat the Buffalo Sabres 3-2 in overtime last night. Vlad Tarasenko netted the winner. The Note also rolled those Commies from Detroit on Saturday 6-1. Bad news in that game, though. The Note have lost Jaden Schwartz with a lower body, an ankle or foot. That's the problem. He's out for 6 weeks plus. He's going to be reevaluated after 6 weeks. St. Louis is home for the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow night. Those teams are deadlocked with 44 points atop the National Hockey League, and they each have 21 wins as well. Let's go to college basketball for now. The Illini lost Saturday night in Sin City. The Las Vegas running, I'm not sure if they're still running, but they did enough that night. They beat Illinois 89-82. Edwardsville's Mark Smith had a game-high 17 for the Illini. Illinois is now 7-4 overall. They face Longwood. I'm not sure. They face Longwood in Champaign Wednesday night. The Missouri Tigers blasted Green Bay 100-77 Saturday. SIU dropped a 75-69 decision to SEMO. On that same day, St. Louis U was crowned by Houston also Saturday, 77-58. And yesterday, the SIUE Cougars picked up a win. They nipped South Alabama 76-75. Oh, the Dukies. They lost to Boston College Saturday, and Duke was a 15-point favorite. And how about the Kansas Jayhawks? They dropped back-to-back games in their backyard in Kansas City and then in Lawrence. Yesterday, Arizona State, I watched part of that. The Sun Devils were behind 15-2. They ended up winning by 10, 95-85. The new poll is out. Duke has slipped to number 4, and Kansas has fallen all the way to 13th. Villanova is the top of the pack. LeAngelo and LaMelo Ball, 2 of the 3 Stooges, have agreed to play pro hoops, yeah. Check out that story. It's in Lithuania. That's professional, all right. That team is a joke. Check out the story. Daddy LeVar he's already ruined their careers probably. Baker Mayfield, he won the Heisman on Saturday night, and that was no surprise. He becomes the 6th Oklahoma Sooners player to clutch the coveted statue in one of the most lopsided votes in the 83-year history of the award. Yeah, he tore it up. Stanford running back Bryce Love was the runner-up, and last year's winner, Louisville QB Lamar Jackson, was a very distant third. Caught my share of the Army-Navy game Saturday. That was tremendous, from a fantastic rendition of the national anthem. Take note, National Football League. The Army-Navy game. Oh, man. And Army just escaped, just barely, with a 14-13 win in the snow in Philadelphia. Bennett Mooring narrowly missed a 48-yard field goal that would have won it for the Navy, and the Black Knights claimed the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. So congrats to them. Barry Odom gets a 2-year extension. Same amount of money. They didn't give him a raise, so that's not a bad deal, but they tack on 2 more years. So in effect, he still has to kind of earn it. Let's see, the National Football League, we're kind of slight on them for good reason, but I did notice that, I noticed it all, but I'm not watching. But Cleveland lost, yes, again. They had a nice lead. They're 0-13. That's the way the Browns are supposed to be, lousy. That's good. And, oh, my goodness, thank goodness the Jersey Giants started crying Eli. Of course, they were dumped again, threw a couple of more interceptions. We talked about this Saturday morning some, and it's official now. He's introduced in Miami, in Orlando at the winter meetings and such. Giancarlo Stanton. No, I was wrong. He won't be on Miami's opening day. He should be, though, on their opening day roster, but the Marlins kind of cowered to a stick. Actually, it wasn't a stick-up. It was an inside job courtesy of Derek Jeter. What a waste. They traded an MVP in his prime, who slugged 59 homers this past season, for Starlin Castro and a couple of run-of-the-mill minor leaguers. Derek Jeter is already, he's in the dumpster already. He's only pitched in a few bucks toward this Marlins purchase, by the way. He pays himself $5 million a year. He'll probably get a full share if the Yankees win the World Series. Ridiculous. What a scam job. Yes, Shohei Ohtani is with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So a couple of the big names, a couple of the bigger names, J.D. Martin. There are more. They're still out there. But the Cardinals, well, they didn't sign one of those marquee guys, but they did get Luke Gregerson, and he's with them for 2 years and $11 million. He was kind of down this year with the Stros. A couple of years ago, he's good. Will he be again? I don't know. The Cubs have Tyler Chatwood in the fold, and now Brandon Morrow. And Pat Neshek, a former Redbird, is signed with the Phillies. He stays there for 2 years and around $16 million. He had a 1.59 ERA and 71 appearances with the Rockies and Phillies in 1917. Sorry to see this. Ted Simmons missed out. This is his final time, right? Missed out. He came 1 vote short of the Hall of Fame. Jack Morris and Alan Trammell are going in. Simba. Chris Martin signs with the all these Japanese players. Well, Americans playing over there. Of course, a week ago we had Spencer Patton on from Kid Monday, who just toiled there this year. But Martin is with the Texas Rangers now. So how about that? I guess that's going to do it for scores and stuff. Again, it was brought to you by Mideastern. No golf. And then when they start up again, it's going to be silly season for a little bit. But scores and stuff was brought to you by Mideastern Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning in Carlisle, the hometown source for residential and commercial work. Don't forget that. What's ahead? Andy Fehrenbacher, Tom Michael, and in between, the Prep Athlete of the Week. This is Scores. This is Talkin' Sports for a Monday night on Max 96.7. Stay tuned.
Need insurance? Insurance you can really count on? If so, turn to Dan Imming at Imming Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Dan and his staff will provide you with the insurance coverage and service you deserve. Whether it's auto, home, life, health, or commercial, your choices aren't limited either. Imming Insurance Agency represents many outstanding companies, so get covered by the best. Call Imming Insurance Agency at 594-4536 or stop by 589 9th Street in Carlisle. Imming Insurance Agency, a proud supporter of Clinton County sports. Farmers State Bank is dedicated to the communities they serve. They've been making home loans for over 100 years. They are and will continue to be a strong, steady, common sense leader that's always focused on what's best for you and the community. And remember, Farmers State Bank has loan professionals standing by to assist you in making the right decision for your needs. That's Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City, and Hoyleton. An equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 404955.
Seaver Brothers has what you're looking for. Take a spin with Seaver Brothers and drive home in your new or pre-owned Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Dodge truck today. Let Seaver Brothers give you the car buying experience that no other dealership can offer. Seaver Brothers stands behind their products and also has an outstanding service department with qualified technicians to keep your vehicles running strong. Stop by Seaver Brothers, 811 Washington Street in Carlisle, or call 594-2624 for your next Seaver Brothers sales associate.
Nordyke Funeral Home is thinking about your future and offers secure, pre-planned funeral arrangements, relieving the emotional burden for those you love, allowing you to express your own wishes, and assures peace of mind with financial concerns when your family needs it the most. Nordyke Funeral Home has 5 locations in Albers, Aveston, Breeze, New Baden, and now Carlisle. Visit NordikeFuneralHome.com or call 588-3533. Striving to earn your family's confidence and trust, Nordyke Funeral Home with 5 locations.
Do you mind if I turn on the radio?
The music is great and it doesn't cost anything.
It's Max 96.7.
Welcome back, everybody. Rip here in the Bird Watson Health Mart studio on a Monday. I can't seem to follow my own directions tonight, but let's take this direction. Let's catch fire on the Johnston Jewelers guest line, head out east over to Salem for Wildcats basketball coach Andy Fehrenbacher. Andy, welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
Well, it sounds as if this is things are going pretty well for the Green, White, and Scarlet, and that's despite a loss at Breeze Central Friday night. Tell us about that game a bit. I know it was a lot closer than what the final score indicates.
Well, it was nip and tuck pretty much the whole first half. Giles, their big kid, got in a little bit of foul trouble early on, and we were tied at 14 at the half. But he came in, had a really good second half. We just couldn't really get much going offensively that night. A lot of credit to Central, and their defense is good as usual and always well prepared with Coach Schubert. So, yeah, they got us, and it's a tough place to win at their place. But, we got Columbia tomorrow night, so we're going to have a quick turnaround and bounce back.
Yeah, Jost ended up with 21, and they closed you out by 11, 44-33. But, yes, it was squared at half, and you're only behind by 5, so most of the damage came in that fourth quarter. And
right.
That was your initiation into the Cahokia Conference, right? It's the brand new experience. It is on, Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. But, and I told people when asking about the new conference, I said, well, yeah, I mean, we're excited about the fact that, playing some teams a little bit closer, but it doesn't get easier.
No.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, the Cahokia Conference is not just basketball and all athletics is a good conference up and down, very competitive, great coaches. So, we certainly have a work cut out for us.
Yes, some very, very good teams. And I know you've only played one game, but you know a lot about the conference through these past years. Of course, the football, volleyball, everybody's played the fall sports and so forth. What do you think is going to be a plus, or is there a negative to Jordan to making that switch from the Apollo to the Cahokia?
Well, like I said, I mean, first of all, when you look at Carlisle and Central and Westland, those are all fairly close bus trips for us. We can certainly get fans over there. With the old Apollo, we could get some people up to Effingham, but that was about it.
I know.
After that, my goodness, I mean, you're on the road forever, and people just can't get out, as much to make those long trips. So, when you look at 3 of the 5 trips or just the next county over, that's good. And then, of course, when you have Freeburg and Columbia, I mean, you got Fairview over there. So in case people needed, wanted to get something to eat or stop there for something or whatever. I mean, the point is it's just closer bus trips. I think some folks here, Marion County, might, definitely know people over in Clinton County. So that helps for some rivalries and that kind of stuff. So, we're excited about that.
And I think everybody pretty much is from our side of the conference here, from, Salem on west. I mean, for one thing, just speaking of in basketball terms, first of all, B. Gum Gym, for those who haven't made it over, they are going to love it. That's historic. That's a great place to play basketball. Yeah,
it is. It's a neat old gym. Not a whole lot of these big old gyms like this around, but it's something that I think the visitors from these other schools, when they come in, crowds will enjoy it because there's a lot of great seats and it's comfortable, a lot of chair back seats and so forth, and it's got a lot of room to it as well. So it's a nice gym for to watch a ball game, and it's a great gym to play in.
You're also right, Andy. It comes up quick for you. You have 2 more views of the new league this week. Tomorrow night against Columbia, and then Westland on Friday. Those are going to be 2 very good opponents. Westland has a a real nice bunch, and I know Columbia is always tough too, and this Holmes kid is always plays really strong.
Right. They, Columbia has they have some size with some 6'6", 6'8" guys, and the Holmes kid is he's a real deal. So, we'll have our hands full tomorrow night, but we're certainly looking forward to getting back home here and playing. I know our guys will be excited to get out and defend the home turf. And then, like you said, on Friday, Westland comes in, and they, like Columbia, pretty much have their whole team back from last year. So, there's a lot of experience on those two teams, and they have length as well. Westland does, and they can shoot it. So it's going to be it's going to be a tall task, both nights, but we're certainly going to be ready. I mean, we're not backing down. We're going to be ready for a challenge, and we're going to be we're going to come out clicking and getting after it. So it'll be fun.
You'll have them prepped, but you're right about that home turf. It's tough to win on the road, and you want to make it that way for the teams coming in. And
absolutely.
I mean, that's just the way you have to play it from high school, college, whatever it is, and seemingly in basketball more than anything, I think.
Yeah, certainly. There's something to be said about just playing in your own gym and your own fans there, and can get loud and so forth. And this is a gym that none of these teams have played in, so maybe that's a little bit of advantage for us. I mean, you look for any advantage you can.
Yes.
So, when you're playing quality competition like the Cahokia Conference, that's what you got to do.
You are 4-3 right now. I'm going to get to the good stuff in just a moment, Andy, but I want to ask you about this. Was a very tight loss against the Mascoutah Indians also last week. You came up shy against Mascoutah and BC. 57-54, they won that one, and that was at B. Gum. I don't know much about the Indians, but they played well that night.
Very, very quick and extremely aggressive. Up to that point, that was the most aggressive, quick team that we had played. Oh yeah, they did a nice job. They got a new coach that I think is doing a really good job and gets through to those kids. And they of course they had the big kid back who's played for them the last couple of years. And they have a nice team. We didn't. The beginning of that game wasn't real good for us. We had been playing fairly well coming into that game. We did not get off to a very good start. Got behind the 8 ball, had to fight our way back. We lost one of our starters 2 minutes into the game. Got a dove for a ball and got a cut right above the eye. He had to go to the emergency room to get 6 stitches above his eye, so he wasn't back. And that's a loss, but that's why you develop a bench, So we had guys coming in, but we let one slip away, we felt, and wasn't too happy about that. But that's not to take anything away from Mascoutah. They came in and played hard and played well.
You certainly rolled out of the gates in fine fashion, didn't you? You had a good showing down at over at the Lawrence County Capital Classic.
We did. We did. We played a really scrappy Red Hill team that went deep in the football playoffs, but they let that momentum carry over and played us real tough that first game. But, we took care of them, but then Mount Carmel got us by 1 that Friday night, and definitely a game we felt we could have won. We bounced back though and played really well the second day and beat Olney and Fairfield to end up getting 3rd in that tournament. So all in all, 3-1 in that tournament was a pretty good showing for us. We really wanted to be in that championship game, but we just fell a little short there. But that was a good start for us, and like I said, we took a step back last week with 2 losses, but we just got to get back up, dust yourself off, and just go again this week, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, some of those former North Egypt rivals for Salem brings back some good memories. I really liked that conference years ago.
Yeah, I played in that conference years ago, and it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Great memories from it.
You won 12 games a season ago, Andy, and I think you're quite confident. You got to go game by game, of course, but that you can scoot past that number and hopefully well beyond.
We feel we can. I mean, as a coaching staff and as the players, and put a lot of time in, and just the thing is, we just have to be mentally ready to go each night. And like I said, we got a tough schedule with the Cahokia Conference, and then the tournaments that we have, the 2 terms we have left are a lot of quality opponents in those tournaments. So, but we feel that we can improve on our win-loss record, no doubt about it.
But do you have 3 starters back?
Yes, we do.
So who are you lining up most nights?
Well, we have Dawson Linder, our point guard. He's back. Started some of the games as a sophomore 2 years ago, my first year here. He started all of our games last year as point guard, and then, of course, this year as a senior, and then Damon Crosby as well. and is our leading scorer right now. He gets about 17, 18 a game. Central did a real good job on him the other night and held him down under his average. But he's does a lot of good things for us. And then Caden Ware's a lefty, 6'3", strong post kid that's pretty athletic. That he's the one that we lost in the Mascouda game early.
Okay.
Like I said, when you lose a 6'3" athletic lefty post kid,
can't help.
That kind of hurts you a little bit.
Yes, indeed.
Because he boards and sets screens and does a lot of things that way, and he, like I said, he guards real well too.
But
so we have those three. We have those three back, and then as far as our two other starters right now, Cord Brown is a 6'6" post kid who didn't play varsity at all last year, and he put a ton of work in over the off season.
Good.
Really matured and is off to a great start. We're real excited about him. And then Max Phillips is a senior that played a little bit off the bench last year as another guard that starts for us. So we start 5 seniors, and then we play 4 to 5 kids off the bench. So we're pretty comfortable going about 10 deep right now.
That's great if you can pull that off. And you are stacked with, I think, 7 or 8 seniors, something like that. You've got a load.
We have 8. Yeah, we have 8.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Very good. And the tournaments, yes. The Centralia Holiday Tournament. I mean, we've got a lot of action in between and after, but the Centralia and your tournament, the Salem Invitational, the longest running midwinter classic in the state, I do believe. My goodness, you drew the orphans at Seatown, I saw.
Yeah, I don't, not real sure about that one.
I was actually a little bit surprised too, but.
Yeah, that was interesting how that came out. But I tell you what, that tournament is just absolutely loaded. My goodness,
it appears to be.
Oh my gosh, there's some really, really good teams and just very big schools. I mean, you're talking, big 3A to 4A schools in that tournament. And then, just some of the schools they're bringing in from out of state are big. So it's interesting.
Yeah, you never know how some of those schools are going to perform, really.
That's true, yeah.
But Evanston is back. It's been a long time. Man, Herb Williams used to bring that team down from from his days, and a lot of their Carmel. I mean, too many know the schedule's out there all over the place. But then your tournament, I'm sure, is going to be real good. So 1-2, is this the 3rd year at Salem High?
That's correct. This is my 3rd year here.
Here you, man. You're just you're cruising right along now. And overall, though, for those who may be tuning, you've got a lot of years under the belt as a head coach, don't you, Andy?
This is my 20th year's coaching. 11th
number 20.
Head coach.
11th as head coach.
Number 20.
Very good. Do you have a pretty good swarm of assistants over there?
Oh yeah. I got some great assistants. All Salem grads and guys who really care and want to. They're proud of working hard and getting these kids to buy in and getting in the direction that we want to go. So, my assistants, Greg Bass, Josh Lush, Jeffrey Tolliver, and Corey Pruden. Those guys are, I'm pretty fortunate to have those guys at my side because they're great.
That's pretty cool if you can pull it off. Get all the locals. That means a lot.
Yeah, it does.
All right, Andy. Thanks for the time tonight, and we'll definitely visit with you again in the new year. So have a good bunch of days leading up to that Centralia Holiday Tournament and beyond. Okay.
Yep. Thank you, Rip. Appreciate it. Appreciate the time.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye.
Andy Fehrenbacher of the Salem Basketball Wildcats. Probably catch them over at Salem, I'm quite sure, when they face Carlisle in early January, something along those lines. Let's take a break, and then we'll skip it over to the Prep Athlete of the Week when we return on Talking Sports for a Monday.
Companies are hiring again. That's good news. Bad news, you don't have the skills they're looking for. Kaskaskia College can fix that. KC's welding technology program can set you up with the skills industries are looking for. More good news, classes are available at KC's Trenton Center or Crisp Technology Center. Call Sean Morris at 545-3406. The demand is there, the pay is there. Where are you? Kaskaskia College, your future starts here.
When's the last time you had your eyes checked? Schedule an eye exam today at Breeze Family Vision Center or Lebanon Optometric Center. I'm Dr. Claire Thorpe-Klinsky, and if it's been more than a year, you might need a new prescription. If you use a computer regularly or are suffering from allergies, those both can be causes of eye strain or fatigue. Schedule a complete eye health exam today to find out if your eyes are healthy. We may be able to detect glaucoma and other eye diseases early. At Breeze Family Vision and Lebanon Optometric Center, we examine more than just your vision.
At Country Financial, we're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through town. We're a part of your community and help support the programs that make our neighborhoods thrive. We take the time to get to know our customers. We know that every situation is unique, and our goal is to understand yours so we can help you be confident about your financial security and your future. Come see me, Teresa Richards, or Keith Wilkin on Main Street in Breeze.
A Shell expert is underwater to demonstrate the importance of protection. My partner will play your engine, menaced by performance-robbing gunk, and playing the engine gunk, 3 man-eating sharks. Don't worry, folks. His shark cage represents Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines. Release the sharks! All 3 grades of Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines act as a barrier that helps shield and protect critical engine parts. So go ahead, folks. Protect your engine with Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines.
Fill up at your area clean and convenient CC Food Mart locations.
Welcome to our music warehouse. Lucky you're not the one who has to refile all these CDs. Playing everything.
You've got Max 96.7.
Hey, sports fans, Rip here in the Bird Watson Health Mart studio. We're here every Monday and Wednesday night. This is an example of a Monday between 6 and 7, and Saturday mornings between 9 and 10. Your time is 6:26. Close enough for government work. That time drop is brought to you by, obviously, Breeze Furniture and Jan's Uniforms. Let's go to the athlete.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I've ever met.
The Clinton County Prep Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Easy In Travel and Breeze. Escape to paradise with Easy In Travel and Breeze. Call 526-2201 and by Little Augie's Pizza in Breeze, the choice for pizza, pasta, and more. Call 526-7040.
Let's spin the barrel, and no, none of this is by accident. And our winner this week, for last week, is Christ Our Rock Silver Stallions basketball player Caroline Bainey, the 6'+ senior, right around there, scored 20 points in the Stallions' victories against Flora and Mater Dei. Caroline had 10 markers and 9 caroms in Saturday's win over visiting Mater Dei. 38-34 was the final. That was a marquee win, and the Stallions' still young program. Caroline Bainey is the Clinton County Prep Athlete of the Week, and she has been granted a $10 gift certificate to Little Augie's Pizza in Breeze. We'll carry him back in just a minute. Stay with us. Tom Michaels still to come on this Monday Eve.
McKendree University is a great place to continue your sports career. It's also a great place to continue your education. McKendree offers a wide range of degrees, including master's degrees in business, nursing, education, and professional counseling. If you'd like, you can access McKendree's quality education through the flexibility of online degrees. To learn more about McKendree, log on to McKendreeOnline.com or call 1-800-BEARCAT. McKendree University is ready when you are.
Southern Bus and Mobility is your Brawnability dealer in Breeze. Brawnability features the broadest lineup of wheelchair-accessible vehicles with more brands, entry types, features, and price points than any other manufacturer in the industry. See for yourself at Southern Bus and Mobility why a new or certified pre-owned wheelchair-accessible Brawnability vehicle is the only way to go. Call 526-4131 or stop by just east of Breeze on Old Route 50. Remember the good old days at the Speakeasy nightclub? Who's ready to party one more time? The final Speakeasy reunion, The Last Dance, is coming to the Aviston American Legion Saturday, December 30th, featuring the Bob Seger Tribute Band, the Silver Bullet STL, and an area favorite, Scooters. Get your tickets now and get ready for the final Speakeasy reunion, The Last Dance. Call 974-9735. That's 974-9735. It's your last chance. It's the last dance. It's the final Speakeasy reunion. Saturday, December 30th at the Aviston American Legion. Call 974-9735. That's 974-9735. Party one more time at the Speakeasy.
we'd tell you our music library contains an embarrassment of riches. Except nothing embarrasses us. Playing everything.
This is Max 96.7.
We're still here, fortunately, in the Birdwatch and Health Mart studio for a Monday. In a few minutes, we'll drive up north to talk with Tom Michael, find out about the latest concerning the Eastern Illinois University athletic program, and, of course, talk some college basketball. We'll talk about the Panthers and the Illini and the usual, which is always good. What's coming up Wednesday night? Well, we'll talk with Kaskaskia Blue Devils basketball coach Brian Hancock. They'll be on break by then for 2-3 weeks, And also, we'll speak up with McKendree Volleyball All-American Amanda Geiger. And Bill Morgan is going to join us for Scores and Stuff. We had Andy Fehrenbacher on from Salem, and we'll go back to Salem Wednesday night for Bill Morgan to get his views on stuff. If you're on Facebook, don't be shy. Friend me, and I'll add you to the Talking Sports with Rip Notmar group, or just ask to join. We're up to we're closing in on 1,700 members now. And if you happen to be tinkering on Twitter, yeah, I'd recommend it. Go to @Rip Talking Sports. @Rip Talking Sports. We're up to nearly we're well over 3,000 followers now. And of course, riptalkingsports.com, riptalkingsports.com, courtesy of technosolutions.com. All of our shows on delay are on there, plus a bunch more. It features the upcoming guest list, past trivia winners, recent athletes of the week, a sponsors list, contact info, Rip sports clips, on delay, which are heard every morning and noon here after the sports report. So a lot for you to mess with, but it's all good. It's all sports, and that's great stuff. All right, we need to pause one more time. We're going to call our final timeout. Use them or lose them. When we come back, we'll hook up with Tom Michael. Stay with us on a Monday. If you're looking for Nissan quality, be sure to check out what Munkin Dodge Chrysler, Jeep, Nissan, and Centralia has to offer. Munkin's has the entire field covered with a great lineup of Nissans, including Maximas, Altimas, and Sentras, SUVs and crossovers, and Titan and Frontier trucks. And you can relax when you shop Munkin's because you know you're getting the better deal every time, along with terrific service after the sale. For your Nissan, log on to Munkin1.com, or better yet, visit Munkin Dodge Chrysler, Jeep, Nissan in person, Route 161 West in Centralia.
If you love quality handcrafted wines, visit 12 Oaks Vineyard in rural Carlisle. You'll enjoy the fruit flavors of their wines while relaxing in a beautiful country setting with family and friends. The Reserve Wine List humbly wears the label of the grapes grown in the family-owned vineyard. 12 Oaks Vineyard is open for tastings from 1 until 6 every Saturday and Sunday, or by appointment at 594-7459. 12 Oaks Vineyard at 18975 Vogel Road, just 3 miles south of Carlisle, and at 12oaksvineyard.com.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? Then let me, State Farm agent Steve Klosterman, help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with the Klosterman Agency handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too, because adding State Farm policies can earn you discounts and actually help you get ahead. Call or email me, State Farm agent Steve Klosterman, and get to a better state with State Farm.
Get unhungry for only $5 at your Breeze and Carlisle Hardee's. Dig into the $5 All-Star Meal with 4 different meals to choose from, like the Charbroiled Double Cheeseburger and Spicy Chicken Sandwich, with natural cut fries, a fresh baked chocolate chip cookie, and a 20-ounce drink. Pick a $5 All-Star Meal today from your Breeze and Carlisle Hardee's, plus the entire Red Burrito menu. Get unhungry at your Breeze and Carlisle Hardee's.
I'd like to start a campaign to blow the buttons off people's radios. Is that realistic?
This is Max 96.7.
Welcome back, everybody, to Talking Sports Rip here in the Birdwatch and Health Mart studio. We've got one last gasp on a Monday night from Andy Fehrenbacher to the prep athlete. Of course, some scores and stuff in there. And now we're going to trigger the Johnston Jewelers guest line for Tuscola and former Illini basketball player, a standout Indian, and present-day Eastern Illinois AD, Tom Michael. Tom, welcome back to Talking Sports.
Hey, Rip. Always great to be on with you.
And we've got a lot to try and punch out. Let's put off the athletic director cap for a little while, though, and let's get started with college hoops. And why not start with that bunch in Charleston. Unfortunately, I know right now a slow start for your Panthers at 2-6, but we've got a long haul ahead.
Yeah, the team has not played poorly. We just we've been in some close games. We went up to Nebraska and opened the season up. Of course, that was can't go without mentioning that we had the University of Illinois come down to Charleston.
What happened there? What happened with that game, Tom?
Well, we were pretty excited about
I
it.
know.
We kind of took it to them the second half and beat them by 13, and it was just a great environment for everyone at EIU, and there was a lot of orange in the building, obviously, and our kids came out and handled that environment really well.
That's pretty special. That was great, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good for our program. But we opened the regular season at Nebraska, lost by 4, played well, had a lead with 6 minutes to go, and just couldn't finish that off. And so, we also went up to Marquette, and after they got back from Maui and really played them tough to a 3-point loss in overtime. So, those are two pretty big games that we just got to figure out how to finish. But we're right there, and our kids are playing super hard, and I know that Jay Spoonhour, our coach, is happy about that. But again, just trying to figure out a way to win some of those close games is something that we've got to figure out. They've got this week off for final exams, and then we'll have 2 ball games next week before they get a few days off for Christmas, and then we'll open up the OVC schedule at the end of the month.
But yeah, Nebraska, you were at San Diego State, at Marquette, some nice schools on their turf. Incidentally, how's that new arena? Well, still new. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years old now, maybe at Nebraska. That looks great on television.
Yeah, I know they've done a really good job. Hands down, I think in all the facilities in the Big Ten, certainly Nebraska, across the board, has top-notch facilities. And they've certainly done a great job with their basketball program. Obviously, football is king up there, but it's not for a lack of facilities and money that they're putting into the basketball program is in terms of why it's not being successful.
A 4-point loss to the Huskers, 3 in overtime to Marquette, and two dashes behind the Western Illinois. Close win in there too. And what about Green Bay? That visit was last week, right, Tom?
Yeah, it was. That was a tough one. We led the entire game, and except for the last 22 seconds, they had tied it up, and then with 22 seconds left, they took the lead, and we really that one was disappointing. Simply, I felt like the second half we played not to lose instead of kind of keeping a foot on their throat and keeping them down and keep pushing through that. So, again, we're trying to figure out. I talked to Jay after that game, and I said at some point in time, the guys are just going to have to realize that this isn't very much fun losing.
Right.
And they're going to have to step up and say, hey, I don't want to lose any more games, and let's make sure we win them. So, like I said, we've got some time off here for final exams this week, and we'll get started back next week, and certainly got a game at South Alabama. And then we've got Western Illinois at home, which we've got to get that one, and then we finish off with St. Francis before we get to Christmas break for a couple days off before the OVC conference season starts with down at Murray State and Austin Peay. So it's a competitive league this year. Belmont is really good, and Murray is Murray, and Austin Peay is good. But I think we're going to have a really balanced OVC conference season, and you're going to have to come and play every night to try to win ball games.
You're in effect the GM for all the sports on the men's side, the women's side. How many of these basketball trips on for the men so far have you made? I think you told me last week you went to Green Bay, right?
Yeah, I was in Green
Nebraska,
Bay.
so forth.
Yeah. Basketball, I go to every football game on the road. A little bit easier to get away for those obviously on Saturdays. And the basketball games, we just try to determine, if we've got donors in the area that we can cultivate.
Okay.
And if it's on the weekends, we try to get up there. But if it's during the week, it just depends on what kind of stewardship we can do with some of our donors. And that was certainly the case at Green Bay, that we've got a donor up in the Appleton area, and got a chance to have him at the game and have dinner with him and really talk about Panther athletics and how he can be a part of it and help in a significant way. So that really dictates a lot of the basketball travel. But we're busy. It's this time of the year. I was out in California earlier last week.
Yeah, what were you doing there? Shooting a commercial or something?
Yeah. The small town folks have to get out to LA once in a while. But no, again,
Super.
We've got a donor out there and just trying to work some things out there. But we keep busy and certainly every day seems like we're trying to get more things done. So that's the nature of our business.
Well, I'm rooting for you guys in basketball and beyond. But I mean, since we're talking mainly, at least now, about the Panthers hoops team, the men's team, I hope Coach Spoonhour, he seems like a super guy. Man, I loved his dad, of course, but I think you'll get this baby trending in the right direction. You got some talent there. And do you have, for this team from, over the summer stuff, pretty good recruits that came in?
Yeah. Jay's background, certainly his personally is got a little bit of a junior college background to it. So he does recruit the junior college kids. And from that perspective, we do have a number of JC kids. So we are, from an age perspective, we are a pretty old team, but we're young in terms of how long they've been at EIU. So it's something that we've got to learn along the way, and I've got complete confidence in Jay and what he's doing with our program.
You've got Wabash represented and John Logan and such, and you have one player from deep Southern Illinois, Jawan Starks. No, I've got the wrong guy there. I'm thinking of Price. Yeah, Devontae Price from the Egyptian High, Tams.
Yeah, Jay's got him from all over, and we really last year we didn't have a guy that could guard the bounce or on the other end we had trouble getting to the basket, and that was really an emphasis for the staff to go out and get some guys that could really take it to the basket and get to the free throw line and do some things like that, and we've done that, and that certainly helps when you need to get buckets or you need to get to the free throw line. So we've got a big guy inside with Musa Dama, who's another junior college kid from Oberly. He's 6'9" and super long, super athletic, and he's been in foul trouble a bit this year. But when he hasn't been in foul trouble and he's been on the floor, he's been really, really good for us this year. So we just have to try to develop some consistency, and that's with any ball club. But if we can play at a consistent level, the wins will come, and very confident about that.
I spewed out Stark's name a little quickly here, but I wanted to mention him because he leads your team in points at around 14 a game, and he's probably second in boards at nearly 6'2", and he is out of Wabash, so he's got a lot going for him athletically, huh?
Yeah, no question. He's really he's strong physically, and he's got a quick first step, and he can take it to the basket. He's got a little bit of 18-foot game that helps keep people honest, but he's been a great addition to the team, and he's a good teammate too. Plays hard and is not afraid to defend. So, we're looking for Jawan to really have a good OVC season and do big things for us.
How about the thoughts on the Illini? Of course, your alma mater. You did some great years up there under Coach Lou, and to date they're 7-4, but they're 0-2 in that Big Ten. Tight losses, but losses to Northwestern and Maryland, so they're out slowly there in that league.
Yeah, I probably don't get to watch them nearly as much.
You're a little busy.
Just simply with all of our things. But did get a chance to talk with Brad Underwood when they came down to Charleston, and I like Brad. I like what he's trying to do. He's trying to instill some toughness and get them back to the way I think a team needs to compete in the league. And I think that he's trying to work on that. I think they kind of got roughed up a little bit at UNLV a couple nights ago, and I know that he wasn't happy with their toughness and commented about how soft they were. But I tell you, the kid that really was impressive when we played him, and I've got to see just a few clips of him, is the Mark Smith kid from Edwardsville. Mark is I think he's going to have a chance to be pretty special. It's the first time I got to see him play, and there's just some things that he does on the basketball floor that, he's young and he's going to make some mistakes, but you can see when you watch him play that he's got some special aspects and characteristics about his game that are going to really allow him to have a good career at Illinois and hopefully further along as well.
I know he was left out of the starting lineup a game or two, and he had some foul troubles, another one or so. He chalked up 17 Saturday against Vegas, and he's averaging around 10. He's got a chance to be a real stud for the Illini.
Well, and it certainly helps that physically he's mature
Yes.
as a freshman. So it's not whether or not he fits in this league or not. He's ready to play right now, and as a freshman, you're not going to be consistent every night. But if your effort is there, it gives you a chance. And I think those are some of the lessons that Brad Underwood is trying to teach to his guys is you can't just play hard some of the time. You got to play hard all the time. And if you're going to have any kind of success, that's what you gotta do. And coming out of high school, when you're Mr. Basketball in the state of Illinois, you don't have to do that every play, every possession. And that's just, I think that's probably the biggest adjustment that these McDonald All-American Mr. Basketballs have to figure out when they get to the next level is there's not any time to take plays off. And you're so much better athletically, physically gifted in so many different ways during your high school career that's just not the way it is. So, but Mark seems like he has a great attitude. I think he wants to learn. I think he listens and he wants to do well. And, when you got that in a kid that's got some great athletic ability and talent, then you've got the recipe for some success down the road, certainly.
Well, I'm certainly always pull for the Illini. I have some doubts. I got to admit, the Big Ten, though, I think is going to be a little down, so maybe that'll play into the Illini's favor, too. Only 2 teams are ranked in the top 25 right now, but that sure does switch in a hurry, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I would agree. I would agree that the league is down a little bit now, Rip, and I'm not sure why that is. Michigan State obviously is really, really good, and then Minnesota would be the other team in the top 25, I guess, right now. But it's interesting to see how the league dips a little bit. Here a couple years ago, I really thought that the league was back to where it was, kind of in the mid 80s through that era when we played into the mid 90s, maybe late 90s. There were some really, really good years of Big Ten basketball, and I thought that maybe the league was back to that. But now being down a little bit, there's a lot of parity in college basketball. That's one, but it's hard to continue to have any program play at that high level all the time.
It is. And now we've had a flip already. Purdue is in and Minnesota is out, but they might.
Okay.
The Gophers might be back any time. Tom Michaels with us, one of the prides of Hoffman and a Carlisle High grad, an All-Stater. So many things on his resume. He's the Eastern Illinois Athletic Director. Of course, played for the Illini on the national front there. Hey, Duke was tripped up, and Kansas has lost 2 in a row, basically both home games. Yesterday in Lawrence and the other day in Kansas City. That's hard to figure out, huh?
Well, and I think I heard last night that it's the first time they've lost 2 home games in Bill Self's, whatever it's been, 12 or 13 years. I'm sure that Bill was able to get their attention really quickly. After yesterday's
he got
loss.
my attention, Tom, because he said this is the softest team I've had here all my years. So
Yeah,
I think he tried to wake him up a bit.
Yeah, and I suspect that when the doors were closed, it was a little bit different
A little
message,
harsher.
even than that too. But yeah, I mean, I think that it talks about the parity. I also think that there's so many young kids. That kind of like we talked about with Mark, that Duke's got a lot of young guys playing. Kansas does, obviously Kentucky always does, but I think that also this early in the season creates some parity and different things like that, and it's a grind. It's hard to play at a high level all the time, and when you falter a little bit and you're playing good teams. They'll take advantage of it, and you'll see what happened with Duke and Boston College, and what's happened with Kansas as well.
Closer to home, SIU is at the break-even point, but I want to get to one of our favorites, good friends of I know you've been played against them, and I've got to know Paul pretty well. Paul Lusk and his Missouri State Bears. They did get chipped off last night by 7 points by Oral Roberts, but before that they'd won 7 in a row, and they're 9-3.
Oh, I love it for Paul. I really do. You know, we've gone back to, boy, we probably started playing against each other back in the 6th grade or something like that, and you know, to the battles that we had from Carlisle and Westland, and then he went to Iowa for a bit, and then went down to Carbondale, obviously, after he had the leg injury, and then just followed him at Missouri State, and what he's doing down there. And you know, it hasn't been easy on him. And you know, the world of athletics, you know, there was a time when I thought that getting into administration wasn't nearly as volatile as the coaching profession. And I thought there would be a little bit more security. I'm not so sure that now you sit in an AD's chair. Now I'm not so sure that there's so much stability in administration now either. But it hasn't been easy on Paul down there, and I'm just tickled to death for him, and happy that he's having a great season. Hopefully they can keep it up in the Valley when the conference gets going, and he can continue to make some noise and make a great postseason run too.
Meanwhile, Mizzou, hey, I've never been a fan of Mizzou, and hey, you could have went there, right, Tom? You were recruited heavily there, but Conzo Martin is a very good coach. Everything seemed to be in sync, man, and then Michael Porter Jr. gets lopped off with an injury.
Yeah, you know, you never. I mean, there's a talented kid too. It's 6'10",
yeah, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt. So I mean, but it seems even when they do stuff right, it goes awry.
yeah, they've really had a hard time to go, and of course, you know, playing them every year in the bragging rights game, and was recruited there. Took a visit to Missouri with Coach Stewart.
Remember
and
it well.
Things like that. Yeah, but yeah, you know, and then we played against Quanzo, played against him in high school, and then certainly when he went to Purdue and we were at Illinois, and we guarded each other on the floor and things like that. So I'm happy that Quanzo's there and what he's doing, but just a poor outcome there right now for Michael Porter Jr. And I think it would be good for the sport of basketball if he obviously was playing. I don't know how serious the back injury is and what kind of effect it will have on him in the future, but whether or not he ends up playing in college at Missouri at all, or if he'll just go straight to the draft. But he certainly was a talent. It would have been good for college basketball to have him out there this year.
Well, he brought up Conzo. In high school alone, the players you banged with, but Conzo and Shaq, among many others. I still remember that picture you had with Shaq. Is it still in your office, Tom?
It is. It's a good conversation piece. Of course, now it's more around how short the shorts were back then, as opposed to anything. But yeah, you know, you look back on those times, and you mentioned Purdue in the top 25, and Matt Painter was on that team,
right?
Purdue, and played against Matt as well. But yeah, there was a lot of good players in the Big Ten that we got to go against year in and year out. And I think I was talking with my boys, you know, this past summer when the draft was there, and you know, played against Shaq, played against Glenn Robinson, played against Chris Webber, and you know, those guys. I know that Shaq and Glenn Robinson were number one picks in the draft, and I think Chris Webber may have been too. And you know, to play against number one draft picks 3 years like that, just really fortunate and blessed to have had the opportunity to do that, and certainly has enabled me to go a lot of places. Certainly still today, and very, very fortunate to be able to have done that.
Tom Michaels with us, courtesy of Hoffman and Carlisle High and the University of Illinois. He's the athletic director at Eastern in Charleston. Is this the 4th year now?
It is. It
Wow.
is year number 4, and it's gone very quickly. That's for sure. So we've still got a lot of work to do, and keep trying to make Panther athletics better.
And you oversee a lot of sports. I think you mentioned 20 or 21 last year. Does that sound about? Did women's rugby? Did that take off?
Yeah, we no longer have women's rugby, so we still have 20. Yeah, we've got 20 sports. So it's a handful, and right now we're looking for a new volleyball coach. So that search is ongoing, and there's always something going in the hopper. So we don't like downtime, so we keep awfully busy.
Yeah, you don't have downtime at all. But most of the coaches, there's always going to be a change or two for various reasons. But I'm sure the large majority are on board with your philosophy and your wants, and they want to make it good for Eastern.
Well, the student-athlete experience is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's a high priority, if not the highest priority for us, is terms of what kind of experience our student-athletes having, and certainly we're going to make sure that we bring kids to EIU that are going to earn their degree and do what they're supposed to do academically, but we want to allow them to have an experience that they're awfully proud of, so that when they do, and this is what I tell the recruits and the parents when I meet with them, is that I want them to be our best recruiters. When they leave and people ask them where they went to school, I hope that when people ask me and I talk about my experience as a student athlete at Illinois, people can hear my passion and enthusiasm that I had, and that's what I want our student athletes to be able to talk about when they leave EIU.
But I think you need to work even harder, Tom, because it's my understanding you don't even show up at the office till about noon.
Yeah, that's right.
Did I get wrong information there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll check my sources.
We sleep in and make sure we get our hot chocolate in the morning and things like that. So
Cartoons,
then show. Yeah, exactly. We usually get out by 3.
Bankers are. What's the most difficult? Is the finances? Is that the biggest deal? Trying to square everything away and keep working on those facilities and upgrades and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Particularly, here in the state of Illinois, with the difficulty that Springfield and the politics are playing in higher education, that certainly is the most difficult piece right now. But I was talking to a colleague of mine that's in the state of Kentucky just a little earlier this evening, and he was telling me about the budget cuts that they're going to have to be going through and everything like that. And so, as we live and breathe it all the time in the state of Illinois, but, there's other states that are struggling with it too. And I think it's going to be a really interesting time over the next probably 10 years in college athletics and higher education to see how they can figure out a way to make this a sustainable financial model. And what's happening right now probably isn't working. And it could be interesting the next 10 years or so, especially for mid-major schools like EIU.
Couple of minutes left is all with Tom. Quickly on the football, pretty good year. You always want to do better, but 6-5 overall, and you had an exciting overtime win late in the season over Eastern Kentucky, but couldn't win that league finale against Austin Peay.
Yeah, a little. It was great. We won 6 ball games by a total of 15 points.
Wow.
And when you look at that, that also means that you probably could have lost all 6 of those games as well.
True.
So you gotta, from a coaching staff and a program standpoint, we really celebrate the fact that we won 6 ball games and close ones and overtime and made plays at the end. But from my perspective, I've got to look at that and figure out how we can get better. And so been working with our head coach, Kim Dameron. He's getting ready to go into his 5th year. And we've made a change at the offensive coordinator position. And so we've hired a guy out of Texas that is from the Mike Leach tree.
I love Leach.
I don't know if he's going to have that personality.
I know.
But certainly he's going to have a system that kind of the air raid system where we're going to line 4 of them up on 2 on each outside and we're going to let it fly. So we're excited about what that's going to bring, and I hope the fans. Hopefully, we can execute it, and it'll bring fans into the seats as well, and it should be a fun environment.
Okay, in about 60 seconds. Sorry, we're short here, but your daughter Kylie plays volleyball. She had a red shirt year.
Yep, she had a red shirt year here at EIU. We're excited about that, and she's finishing up final exams this week.
And Nate is tearing it up down here at McKendree for Coach Statham. He's chalking up some points, never misses a free throw. And Nolan Gerling from Germantown and MD, boy, he's got a good local on his squad there too.
Yeah, they're roommates. I think Nolan must put the headlock on Nate because Nate gets him the ball quite a bit, and they've got a good little combination there. But we'll go down and we'll be able to watch them play on Wednesday night. So we're excited about that.
And the good thing as well, you can catch all these games on their website too. So
yes.
whatever the sports. So, but Nate's at 13 and about 3 boards a game, assists and stuff. So it's all good. So. Tom, all right, I guess we better scoot away, but we will catch up with you sometime in March and talk about the big dance then, okay?
Sounds good. Always goes quick, Rip.
It always does. It always does. Hey, thanks a bunch. We'll talk to you then, and I might be back at you with a little info in between here in the next day or two, okay?
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you
off the
soon.
record, All right, thanks, Tom.
Indeed, thanks.
Tom Michael, we appreciate him. He's always great on basketball and more. He's got a great job up there in Charleston. That's a very good school, of course. Thanks to Tom and also to Andy Fehrenbacher. We've got high school basketball coming up. And then Wednesday, slide on back here for KC Blue Devils basketball coach Brian Hancock. And from McKendree, a very good volleyball player. She's an All-American this year, Amanda Geiger. Bill Morgan on scores and stuff. We'll see you Wednesday between 6 and 7 on Talking Sports. Real Sports Talk on Max 96.7. WCXO.
Talkin' Sports on Max 96.7 was powered by Brett's Wildlife Lodge and Winery in Carlisle. Talkin' Sports was brought to you by Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan in Centralia. Kaskaskia College. The future's yours at Kaskaskia College. Emin Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City, and Hoyleton. Nordike Funeral Home with 5 locations to serve your needs. McKendree University in Lebanon. Seaver Brothers in Carlisle. 12 Oaks Vineyard in rural Carlisle. And by Becker Jewelers with locations in Breeze and Highland and always online at beckerjewelers.com. Thank you for joining us for this WCXO sports presentation of Talkin' Sports on Max 96.7.